All right, my friends, welcome back. Aaron here bringing you your solar eclipse horoscope happening right now. The time is about 1:52, so that means in 2 minutes this eclipse is going to start. So I've decided to come down here. Unfortunately, this isn't a live stream broadcast, but for me, this is a live streaming consciousness of the downloads that I'm getting from the planets to deliver the message. Now, I've gotten a lot of downloads, a lot of information about this eclipse. I feel like I could write a book about it. I just might. So, as the days have continued to move forward, I've just been kind of in awe at the insight that's come through. So, let's get right into it. All right, let me show you the chart here. We've got the sun, the moon, the south node, which means this is our past, where we were coming from, what we're letting go of. Although a new moon means a new beginning, is how we like to look at these. A new beginning in letting go of something. Okay? What is a great thing of letting go? And then, of course, we have Mercury here conjunct as well. Mercury is our mind, our words, communication, and across the way here, our friends playing on the other side of this tug of war today in this solar eclipse. Of course, the North Node, meaning we're headed in this direction of Aries, which is about self. We're headed in this direction of Eris, which is how we deal with information, and of course, about healing. Chiron here, the wounded healer. Right? Now that is extremely important. How we deal with information, wounded healing, going in this direction, letting go of emotions, other people, and communicating. Now, if it doesn't jump out to you, what do those things all bring together? Forgiveness. Forgiveness. My friends, forgiveness. Right? Now let me show you one more thing here. This particular opposition solar eclipse is making a very beautiful square to Pluto. Transformation in the sign of Capricorn, which is how we govern ourselves. This isn't just about the government, authority, outside people. This is also how we govern ourselves. So what this means is we have the power, we have the ultimate authority to forgive other people. We have the ultimate authority to communicate that forgiveness. This is so valuable and so important right now that we don't have to agree. We don't have to agree with one another. We're allowed to maintain our position, our views, our opinions, our stance, emotionally, energetically, politically, religiously, how we feel the job should get done, how we feel there should be more grace or less leniency in the workplace, or more grace or less leniency in our home environment, whatever it may be. Boundaries are extremely, extremely, extremely important and extremely valuable. And just because we have boundaries and somebody else doesn't like those boundaries doesn't mean that we're wrong. Doesn't mean that they're wrong. Everyone has an opinion of themselves. Everyone has an opinion of their own, and they're entitled to that just the same way as we're entitled to ours. Now, where the pendulum swings in our favor here, meaning everyone's favor, the pendulum swings in everyone's favor, is you have the power to decide. You have the power to be that authoritarian governing force and say, you know what, it's okay. We don't have to agree on this, but I'm going to maintain my position. We don't have to agree. We don't have to argue. We don't have to disagree. I mean, we can agree to disagree, right? Now that doesn't mean we have to change for somebody else. That doesn't mean we have to alter our plans, alter our narrative, alter our direction of where we're going. Though it is important to listen. It's important to listen, to give other people the benefit of the doubt at times. It is important to hear the other person's point of view, hear the other person's perspective. These are valuable things, and especially if we value the person. Of course, we have Venus in Virgo, which is a very critical place for Venus to be. Anyone that has Venus in Virgo in their chart, they know this. It's a crux position of saying yes or no, because it's really what you love, want, and desire. And that Virgo energy is extremely visual at that point, in saying yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And sometimes, of course, deciding what we do want is by eliminating that of which we don't want. So if we know we don't like these things, don't want these things, well, that certainly puts us into an alignment of that which we do love, want, and desire. So now we talked yesterday. This is horoscope video number 3. The other ones will be up here somewhere at the end of the video. Okay, Libra horoscope 2. You'll find them on the YouTube maybe. So we talked about having a tunnel vision, okay, in this tunnel of moving forward in our progress, in our desires, in our loved ones and desires, being so focused on what is ours and shielding out around us what's not ours. Okay, this is almost like cutting karmic cords. I'm giving back what's yours and taking back what's mine. Okay, this is another way we can look at this eclipse. I'm giving back what's yours and taking back what's mine. This is a really great meditation. If you'd like to try this, we can do it with all 7 chakras and just say, I'm releasing this energy, I'm cutting back, I'm giving back what's yours, and I'm taking back in what's mine. It's a nice kind of little meditation. All right, so now, how does the world progress and how does the world proceed if we're all focused on our individual things? Well, the truth is we all have different interests. We all have multiple interests besides just one. We most likely have a job and we have some sort of hobby at the same time, right? This isn't my full-time job. There's many avenues of things that I enjoy. And when we communicate the things that we love, want, and desire, when we communicate the things that we're most passionate about, we're certainly in most alignment with ourselves and with the cosmos, with the universe, because this is exactly what we need, right? The fish in the water swimming with its other fish or in its environment is in a much better place than a fish outside the water, sitting on the grass or in a fishbowl at your house. Whatever. I've no judgments for people that own fish. There's maybe a bad example. I hope you can understand where I'm going there. Maybe you can forgive me for that. So, all right. So when we're focused on that of which we love and want and desire, and we're in our tunnel, we're naturally going to gravitate, and the magnetic force, which is a very real force, the electromagnetic field around all human beings and around all things on this planet, we attract each other, okay? And then we grow together and become abundant with one another. So although this is a channel of astrology, and I have different interests and communicate about religion and philosophies, and I work in film and television, all these things. And through this, but this avenue here, those are my other interests, and battling with the FDA and natural plant medicines, because I work with natural plant medicines in Peru. So like these are the things that I'm passionate about. And by me focusing on these things that I'm passionate about, I also meet other people. Now, I'm also passionate about saving sea turtles, wild horses, plastic in the oceans, environmental health, safety, all things. I mean, just like any normal person would be, who is a compassionate, empathetic human being that has a beating heart in their chest. We all care about wanting to have less plastic drinking straws or plastic bottles waste. You know, we want to have a healthy planet. We want to have a healthy environment. Now, I can't focus all of my time on all of these other needs. I need to focus my time and energy to where I can create an abundant avenue for myself. Now, if I have a little bit of money, and if I were to go to every single person that needs money on this planet and give away all that's mine, I'm going to have nothing left to feed myself, to be able to give to myself, to be able to generate more income. Okay, so I have to, in a certain sense, not necessarily ignore, but again, focus and tunnel my position, my ideas, my energy into this avenue. And at the same time, people are going to say, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to focus on this thing, you need to focus on, this thing that's happening over here between Israel and Palestine, you need to focus on this thing that's happening over here with this race, you need to focus on this thing that's happening over here with pronouns and genders, and oh my, it's just like everybody has their own thing that they're doing, and it's wonderful. And everybody, and these people over here is a quinoa farmer, and this person over here is a bean farmer, and this person over here is doing beets and carrots, and it's like we all need everybody to focus on that of which they love, want, and desire. And the more that we become abundant in that, the more that we magnetically pull people into the collective field, not our field, the collective field, other people will meet each other, mingle, connect, and figure out ways. This is human expansion. Okay, and this is where we're headed, as Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius, which is about community, technology. Okay, so right now we have to understand that it's extremely important to be the brick wall. Okay, that's what Capricorn is known for at times, is being the brick wall. It's not always emotional, but there's a lot of emotion behind that brick wall. There's a lot of emotion, compassion, to make sure that we are staying grounded and stern and a proper structure. If it weren't for this Saturnian energy here, this desk would fall apart, the chair would fall apart, the camera would fall apart, these lights would fall apart, and there'd be no structure, no organization to be able to broadcast this signal from. Right? The band on the stage would fall apart. There'd be no more playing of rebellious music because there'd be no more structure and order. Okay. So the more that we allow ourselves to feel and flow in that which we desire and respectfully put on those blinders to shroud out the noise of other people's stuff, the more that we flourish, the more that we abundantly grow, and the more that we can generate that avenue of income to where we can give back to those other sources, right? We can give back to figuring out now, how can I, now with this abundance or now with this team, with this collective, how can we help the turtles? How can we help, the plastic in the water? How can we help clean up the PFAS that's in the Great Lakes? How can we help clean up whatever it is? How can we make this world a better place? Which is ultimately what most people want, is to make this world a better place, right? And in doing so, we talk, we share, we communicate with one another. This is the beauty of having Mercury in Libra right now. We want to communicate with one another. And now I'm talking about the past 2 videos about manipulation. Now, manipulation is very real, and we use manipulation all the time. These words that I'm speaking, they're spelling. I'm casting spells with words, right? That's what spelling is. We're casting words. And I'm using these words to tell stories. Those stories are going to leave an impression on your mind. That impression that it leaves on your mind or your heart is going to make an effect on your personal well-being, right? So this is a form of manipulation, but it's a co-collaborative manipulation where we want to expand and grow. All right. So again, there's negative ways to manipulate and positive ways to manipulate. And one of this, because Mercury here is opposing all of this goodness and on the opposite side of Chiron right now, about healing one's self through how we communicate, right? And how we communicate or listen to others, communicate with other people. So let's tell a story. There's 2 people that are quitting smoking cigarettes, okay? And a third person walks up and offers them both a cigarette. One says, no, I'm quitting. The other one says, no, I don't smoke. There's a big difference. There's a big difference in that mentality and what you're communicating out to the outside world. It's what I'm internally, me, myself, Aries energy, healing, of course, Chiron, Eris, how I'm dealing with the information. I'm quitting. I'm quitting means I still smoke. I'm quitting. I'm taking my last bite. I'm taking my last drag, whatever, right? So having this mentality shifting, transforming our thoughts into a more firm place. I don't smoke. I don't smoke. It's a powerful, powerful words, right? So we can use these words to help alter our minds to put us in a better place, because that's what we're doing right now. All of this energy is about putting us in a better place. We need to be in the best place with ourselves. And again, that doesn't mean ignoring other people. That doesn't mean being ignorant to what's happening in the world around us. But it also means not everything around us is our fight. Not everything around us is our battle. Not everything around us needs our opinion. Some things can just be. And that's purely human ego that comes in that says it needs me, my opinion, my thoughts, my concepts to change, manipulate, to bring energy in. And if it weren't for me sharing this Facebook post, the whole thing might fall apart. If it wasn't for me sharing this thing, and sometimes it's virtue signaling, right? It's saying like, look at me doing the right thing here in front of other people. But it's like, it's not bad to do that. You're doing the right thing. Are we doing the right thing for the wrong reasons? Now, this is internal. We have to find our own, because you're going to find what your battle is, right? You're going to find what your battle is. And that's extremely important to promote that, to go after it. Now, Coca-Cola here doesn't have any shame or guilt in advertising for itself. However, your friends, your family members, when you make a shift or an adjustment into your own self and start aligning with your own personal being and say, hey, I'm going to start sharing astrology, or I'm going to start sharing about this, or I'm going to start sharing about this thing that makes me excited to wake up in the morning and gets me, passionate about life and passionate about sharing things. So when other people start to see the passion that you have in something, it's really easy to make fun of. It's easy to knock you down. It's easy to, tear it apart or say that it's fugazi, not real, or you'll never work, or, you're going up against giants. Like there's huge corporations that are already doing these things. What are you doing with your time? It's not always necessary to communicate our dreams, passions, and goals with everybody, because not everybody has the mental capacity to understand it. So they're going to minimize our experience. They're going to minimize our vision, right? I remember it was the Leo King, David Palmer, God, way back in 2016 or 2017, I remember him talking about this, about Walt Disney, and Walt Disney having this vision to create Disneyland down in the swamps of Florida. And people told Walt he's crazy. And it's like, well, who's crazy now? Disneyland or Disney World, whichever one is down there in Florida, is this huge mega thing, and obviously has done a lot of great positive things for a lot of people and inspired children in fantasy and opened up our minds in expansion. Of course, this is certainly a Neptune and Pisces kind of fantasy reality that we live with it, but it was a dream, it was a vision, and it took off, So by listening to other people just squash your ideas down, it might not be the best. So be very choosy, or trying to be choosy on who we share these bigger ideas with, who we're sharing our vision with. And if they don't have the mental capacity for it, it's really okay to just change the conversation. It's okay to, just say, oh, cool, and maintain your friendship of the areas that are good for you, right? Like maybe we don't agree on this, but we can play music, or we have this thing in common, or we share these other things in common. We don't have to have this consume the conversation just because we disagree on it. Okay. Now, we talked also about manipulation between family members. We talked about manipulation between other people, and there's something else, another little nugget that's came through. A friend of mine who might be watching this video right now, thank you for sharing this story with me, and I hope it's okay that I'm sharing it now. I'm of course going to leave names and witnesses out of this to protect the innocent. So my friend is a 41-year-old woman, a mother, and a really lovely person. Much love to you. Was out at a party, a social gathering with her family over the summer. Okay, and she's being herself, expressing herself, loving herself, wearing a very normal two-piece bathing suit. She is a busty woman, top-heavy, and her sister or family member, who's not a very busty, has a smaller chest. They're wearing very similar outfits. But because my friend has a bigger bust, the mom walked up to my friend and told her to cover up. So the mom is ashamed of the daughter's bust. Now, the mom wasn't ashamed of the other one's bust. She wasn't embarrassed about that because she had a smaller bust. So the mom's ashamedness is now rubbing off on my friend and telling her that she needs to be ashamed for exposing her chest, which she was not doing, right? Just wearing a normal bikini. So it's an uncomfortability between one person now shaming. Shame is a form of manipulation. Guilt trip is a form of manipulation. Okay? Now, what my friend did and what that did with their family, that's up to them. But I'm only bringing up the story is because where it's hypocritical on one hand to the other, where it's just like it's okay for the small-chested person, but it's not okay for this person. Okay? Not just that, but it's about the words that were being used. The words that were being used is in order to make the person feel guilty, to make the person feel shamed, because it was the mom. In all respect, this person was uncomfortable. My friend wasn't uncomfortable. This person was uncomfortable, and it spreads. It's like a little wildfire. And then further, I'll share this. The mom pulled, now my friend, who's again a mom to a daughter, who the daughter is also a mother, like a grown woman, shaming this grown woman, saying, "Oh, I shouldn't have done it in front of everybody. I should have pulled you aside to shame you." right? Which is even worse, my friends. Like, I mean, it is what it is. And my friend, thank you for sharing that story. And thank you for allowing me to express that here, because I think that's very, very potent and very, very powerful in this energy that we have right now, right? It's all of these little things. And it's finding our own way to communicate to the other, okay? Now, I don't want to say anybody's wrong. I don't want to say anybody's wrong. It's not my business. Okay, that is not my business. I am an observer of a friend told me this story, and I'm sharing it back with you because it's so relevant in this eclipse. It's so relevant in this energy of, hey, I'm embarrassed about something you've done, and I want to change that about you to make me feel better about myself, when it has nothing to do with me. That's your business. How you dress, how you go about your life, who you want to love, how you want to love, how you want to be, the things that you find passionate about. Why would it's just like if somebody's like, hey, I'm passionate about saving sea turtles, and someone's just like, oh, a Wall Street person over here is like, you're not going to make any money in that. You're going to have a horrible time. It's like, you know what? You're going to have a great time passionately caring for those sea turtles, and you're going to meet a lot of beautiful people with a lot of beautiful hearts. And all those dollar bills that individual is taking from the Wall Street might not be able to experience something like that. Again, it's not wrong, but they're different elements. They're completely different. It's like fire saying be water, and water to be earth, and earth to be air. It's just not how it is. And we have to define ourselves, define the elements that exist within our being, right? We're a combination. The anima to the animus. I am both masculine and feminine in a masculine body. Earth is my body, water is my blood, air is my breath, and fire is my spirit. I am one with nature. I am nature, right? So this is me. This is my opinion. These are my views. And it's okay if people have a difference. What I'm going to find passion about in my life and move forward with, we're going to find passion together and we grow together. So defining ourselves, I don't think that's the right word. It's like being okay. It's just pure acceptance of ourselves, pure acceptance of other people's opinions. And if we care about those things, we can share and communicate, right? If we want to have a healthy argument, a healthy disagreement is extremely valuable. And I think right now we're in this interesting time to where if we disagree with something, we want to just cut somebody out. And that's why I started this whole thing saying forgive, because all of these people are here on us with this journey. They're here with us on this journey. We're not alone. They're not alone. We don't close our eyes and people that we had falling out with disappear, right? And furthermore, the balancing scales of Libra, Black Moon, Lilith here, and Venus. It's like we've done our own damages to our relationships. We've done our own things. We've made our own decisions that we have to make sure our hearts weigh as light as that feather for our own peace of mind, not for getting in the gates of Valhalla, not to get into heaven, not to stand next to Buddha or Krishna or Allah, whatever it is. I'm not making fun of those things, but I'm saying this is personal. All of those stories, we don't even know if you don't know. There's not been a single person who has died and gone to heaven and came back. Like really. We have the conscious mind going into this. I don't want to get into that, but we have these people that will just tell you. Now again, I've talked about this on the channel before. I have a neurosurgeon friend of mine that there's this area in the brain right here that happens to all of this demons and heaven and hell area happens here, and he'll find this tumor happening in the brain. These people will come forward and report to seeing these wild visions of angels or wild visions of demons, these demonic figures or these very angelic God, Satan, these kinds of things, and whatever religion they believe in is the images that they see, of course, right? So it's like whatever foundation that you have is what you see in this area. Then when he removes the tumor or the block or whatever it is in this person's experience and their experience sharing those stories with me that I'm now sharing with you, those things alleviate and go away. So did that mean that these things are in the brain? These concepts, these are they delusions of a heaven and hell, of a good and evil, of God or Satan. You know, to me, Satan is Saturn. Saturn, the adversary of the sun. The sun is the light, the center of our solar system. The one sun that literally gives its life for us to live on this planet. Now, we've talked about astrotheology before. I don't want to get too much into that topic on this particular video. But the point is, there is a lot of different people's opinions. And we don't know, just because they felt it, and they have doesn't mean it's there. The Radiohead song, just because you feel it doesn't mean it's there. And then we try to convince other people. Oh, I saw God on this rock. God came down from the heavens and landed on this rock. And because of that story, because of that thing, we have had a war happening for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's not my story. That's somebody else's story. Do I have to believe it? Do I have to believe their view of reality? Do I have to believe it? No, I don't. What I can do is be grateful for my experience on this planet, being grateful for my experience with other people. What I can be grateful for my experience listening to other people, hearing their stories, formulating my own ideas, formulating my own concepts of what reality is based on the information that I have around me, based on the information that I've chosen to take in. All right. Now, we also have here Jupiter playing a really interesting septile, which is one of my favorite elements in astrology, these septiles here. All right, we've got Uranus creating it over here to Black Moon Lilith, and we have Jupiter here creating a septile over to the eclipse, and the eclipse creating a septile over to Neptune. Dreams, fantasy, delusions. Where are we delusional? Where do we need to be more grounded in reality? Okay. These are water, earth, air, and fire energies. We have all of the elements here within this. This is a really interesting energies because it's saying be expansion, 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 instability. Find what makes you feel stable. Even if it's uncomfortable to do what you love. Even if it's uncomfortable to follow those passions. We have Black Moon Lilith also creating this septile up here to the eclipse. This is really unique energy, my friends. With this, we love, want, and desire. Be specific on what you love, want, and desire. It's okay if it's radical. It's okay if it's different. Flourish in it. Be good at it. Continue to learn your process and bring it forward to the world. This is a new beginning. What used to work in the past doesn't necessarily work now. So we have this opportunity to tap into our imagination here, to create a new, transform how we used to think about things, transform our limitless beings here using the imagination and connecting with other people to create abundance and stability in our lives, in a place where stability is constantly being shattered by radical new things coming through. Loving self, forgiveness of ourselves, forgiveness of ourselves. Whatever we did yesterday, whatever we did 5 minutes ago, it's okay to forgive ourselves. Even if that means we have to have a serious talk with ourselves and maybe humbly put our tail between our legs and go back to another person and say, I'm sorry. Because it's the right thing to do. Because it helps keep structure. It helps keep order. It helps keep our hearts lighter than that feather. So that when we die, we have a free conscience, a free heart. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. And appreciation, appreciation, appreciation for all of those that are on our path, that are on a similar path, that have come into our path, that have come into an alignment with us. My friends, thank you for coming into an alignment with me. I want to thank my buddy Alex, right? My buddy Alex, you know who you are. He's on here. He's going to comment. I hope you do. I hope you're having a really wonderful solar eclipse. This is how this works. A random person, me putting out an astrology video because I love talking about astrology, met another young astrologer that lives on the opposite side of the country, and now we talk all the time. We're connected together on social media, and Alex's interests are now are communicating. I've communicated some of my interests on social media, and because he's commented on there, and other people, and now other people are working together from around the globe to expand an interest, okay? An interest that someone's passionate about. That's how this works, my friends. The more that we're excited, the more that we're passionate talking about the things that we love, want, and desire, the more that we're sharing those things that we love, want, and desire, the more the other people are going to naturally gravitate towards them. We're going to naturally find other people and expand, expand, expand. And this is the breakthrough energy of Uranus and Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, because this creates a better stability for ourselves and more abundance. And of course, this is the second house, which means if we're confident with ourselves, first house, confident in ourselves, we're taking in information in a proper, healthy way where we're not necessarily flipping out or getting upset. We can, but it's not necessary all the times. But, you know, how we're dealing with information, having a healthy balance with ourselves, and allowing ourselves to say, I disagree, and that's okay, and keep a firm commitment to self of our own peace. Yeah, committing to our own peace is extremely important. I would say that this is also between Pluto and Uranus. There's something here that's committing to our own peace. Out of all the killers in the world, Taurus is the least of the murderers. They're the most stable sign in the zodiac, which is why the moon is exalted here. So there's something about this solid ground in keeping peace, even in instability. So it's about transformation. All right. So, you know, it's using this energy to create stability within ourselves. So appreciating ourselves, loving what we love, connecting with others that love what they love, finding abundance, and we can find some way to grow with one another, create financial or emotional abundance and joy through this, connecting with other people and loving and appreciating other people, letting the people know that you love them, and letting those who need forgiveness either tell yourself. Not everybody needs to know that they're forgiven, because sometimes that just seems rude, like, hey, I just want you to know I forgive you. You know, like sometimes that can be a really like a jerk move, unless it's something that would like bring someone to tears and they'd be so happy for it. Then I really encourage you to say like, hey, I love you. I forgive you. It is, you know, I don't necessarily have to forget. I don't have to agree with you, but we can move forward. Because I'm at peace with myself, because I'm in alignment with myself, because I'm in abundance with myself, because I'm in joy with myself, because I love myself. And I'm not going to allow your energy, your perception of me, your shame or guilt or whatever it may be, disapproval, to affect me. My friends, this is just the most beautiful energy, most beautiful solar eclipse energy. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here with me as well. I would probably just sit here and talk to no one, but it's a lot cooler when I get other people to talk to and bounce back with. So thank you. Let me know in the comments, how is your eclipse going? How is this day for you? Have you found forgiveness in your hearts? Have you found a more sense of an alignment with yourself? Have you found a whatever it is? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you. I love you. Wish you enough. Happy solar eclipsing, and we'll see you soon.